Texas Tech coach Mike Leach always enjoys a pregame cup of coffee. No mad scientist can work without a jolt of caffeine. For guard Brandon Carter, his workday starts by spiking his hair, like his favorite wrestler. But there's a Red Raider alert tonight. Oklahoma quarterback Sam Bradford puts points on the scoreboard like a pinball wizard. The show is about to start. Will you get a load of this team? Not in your or even their wildest dreams. Were the Texas Tech Red Raiders ever in this position at this point in the season? Second in the polls, with a real shot at a Big 12 title, and maybe more, much more, in the BCS to come. But across the line in prime time is perennial powerhouse Oklahoma, familiar with success and full of pride. With Heisman Trophy contenders all over the field, Harrell and Crabtree for Tech, Bradford for the Sooners. They could be putting up some mighty big numbers here in Norman tonight. Number 2, Texas Tech. Number 5, Oklahoma. On Saturday Night Football. You are looking live at Oklahoma Memorial Stadium in Norman. Two teams from the Big 12 South face off with everything at stake. Conference championship implications and also national championship hopes ride on Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Tonight, the number 2 Red Raiders storm into Norman with the nation's longest winning streak, and they face the explosive offense of number 5, Oklahoma. Sellout crowd on hand. The BCS standings. Texas Tech taking dead aim at Miami in the BCS championship game. Oklahoma hopes to climb aboard with a big win here tonight. So welcome everybody to Kirk Herbstreit. I'm Brent Musburger. Pleasure to have you along with us. Kirk, got a little noisy. There's some barking down there on the field now.
A little chippy. You have Oklahoma who's saying, hey, nobody comes into our house. Nobody knocks us off. We're 59-2 under Bob Stoops, and Texas Tech is saying, this is our year. We have the leadership. We're ready to do it.
Two wonderful quarterbacks in this game.
Well, we've seen some great quarterback play in the Big 12, but it's not going to get much better than this. Graham Harrell, the hottest quarterback in the nation right now, and Sam Bradford. You can see the numbers. It's amazing to watch these guys execute. If they have time to throw, they'll both have big nights. Ultimately, Brent, it's not just deciding who might get a chance to get to Kansas City in a Big 12 championship, maybe who ultimately takes their team to the national championship.
One of the great traditions of Oklahoma football, the Sooner Schooner. You ride aboard. Hop on, everybody. Going to be a great night. Weather, beautiful for a football game.
That was cool, man.
Images leading up to this game. The Sooners all fired up. The arrival of Graham Harrell of Texas Tech enjoying the moment. A little barking going on. Everybody all fired up.
The atmosphere is going to be crazy. We got a reputation that we got to keep up, and people are going to try to, throw us down.
They stepped their game up to ours, so we got to just match it. So that's a rivalry now.
We've played in the biggest 2 games in Texas Tech history the past 2 weeks.
Try to stop it, folks. Just try to stop it.
Everything that we've gained, the success that we have now, that's all at stake.
Kind of have a sour taste because they put it on us last year, no doubt about it.
The Red Raiders have knocked off the Oklahoma Sooners.
It's frustrating to look back and know that, they took us out of the national title hunt last year.
Payback. Payback.
You are looking live at a crowd of 82,112 jammed into Memorial Stadium and ready for the showdown between Texas Tech and Oklahoma. Mike Leach won the toss, no deferring. He'll take the ball. He'll be matched against a man he once worked for, Bob Stoops. When Stoops came to Oklahoma, Leach was his offensive coordinator. Stoops telling us, I know his offense as well as he does. We're about to find out. Back in 1999, working side by side for 1 year, Stoops knew that Leach understood how Mummy's high-powered offense at Kentucky when he was an assistant there and Stoops was down at Gainesville with the Gators, so he brought him out. The next is history, and Leach does not have a good record here in Norman, as many of you are aware. Our journey begins. Lewis back deep. And Lewis is down at the 32-yard line, and Kirk, so many impact players for these teams.
Yeah, we've seen Texas Tech really emerge their last 2 games. Michael Crabtree, arguably the top player in all of college football. Number 5 has to have a big game tonight. Edward Britton on the backside. Texas Tech does a good job of finding him one-on-one. And then the 2 running backs, Shannon Woods, the leader, the senior. He had a huge game against Oklahoma State. And a more physical back and a great receiver in his own right, Baron Batch, number 25.
Harrell hands it off on first down for a couple of yards with Shannon Woods, and here is Graham Harrell. His numbers are just unbelievable, Kirk.
Veteran quarterback, 37th career start tonight, played a lot of football, and because of that, he understands his offense, able to recognize defenses, make quick decisions, and throw an accurate ball. If you don't get pressure on Graham Harrell, you're in for a long night.
His first pass. Stands tall in the pocket. 1st and 10 as he snapped it off that time beautifully to Lyle Leong, the sophomore from Abilene.
What a great job here early in this game. It's so important for Texas Tech to start out fast and have some confidence, showing great patience. Comes off Leong originally, looks to the right, and then comes back to him again, and a nice job of giving him enough time there by the offensive line.
He'll come again. Flair. Here's Woods. Spins for a couple of yards.
The great thing, Brent, about this game is Mike Leach, because he worked with Bob Stoops, there's such a familiarity from Oklahoma's side of the football defensively in studying and understand. Bob Stoops, as much as any coach in the Big 12, understands how to stop the Texas Tech offense. Now it's a matter of going out and executing it and trying to do it.
Throwing for a living. And read beautifully that time by the defense, Austin Box, the redshirt freshman linebacker from Enid, Oklahoma, coming off an injury, forced to fill in for Reynolds in the middle, and what a play by the youngster.
Well, he has gotten better and better, obviously, through game experience, has been forced in, as you mentioned, because of the injury to Reynolds, the leader, and has shown a lot of confidence in the last 2 weeks. He feels he's ready to play tonight against Tech.
Brent Venables stressed all week that the linebackers had to slash on the inside, get to that outside passing game that Texas Tech likes so much. Show blitz. Try to get there. Influence that pass. Incomplete. And it goes to 4th down.
Brent, you indicated it. What a great job of getting Texas Tech here early in this game to 3rd and long, and then disguising and then bringing pressure at the last second off from the left. The linebacker Clayton is able to get in, and that's what it's all about. How do you stop Graham Harrell? You get him into 3rd and long, you get pressure. Clayton brings the pressure, gets the hand up, and knocks the ball down.
So here's somebody, Jonathan LaCour. We don't see him very often. He did not punt once, not once, against Oklahoma State. Fielded on the 22 by Ryan Broyles. And now we'll see Sam Bradford. And how about Bradford's impact play?
Well, Brett, for all the talk about Bradford and the fact that he's their star, it starts with the running game. Big physical offensive line tonight from Oklahoma. DeMarco Murray feeling more and more like the old DeMarco Murray because of the health. Jermaine Grisham, one of the top tight ends in college football. Look for them to try to match him up against the linebackers and a great group of wide receivers led by number 9, Joaquin Iglesias, who again has the ability to make you pay in a hurry if you leave him alone.
Up-tempo Oklahoma offense. Defensive end might have jumped. We'll see how they sort that out as he goes to Grisham with the first pass of the game for 10 yards. It looked like the defensive lineman influenced the offensive line, but let's see how the officiating crew sorts it out.
Offside. Defense number 84. Result of play, the penalty decline. Second down.
Brandon Williams trying to get a head start there on Phil Lodeholt, the left tackle. It's an advantage of quickness for Williams, and he tried to jump the count.
Murray very deep in that eye, and again that's a false start. That is against Oklahoma.
False start. Offense number 18. 5-yard penalty.
That's Grisham, the tight end. Bob asking for clarification. Now frequently tight end is just a term with Grisham. He'll flex way off the line, folks, and really be one of their wide receivers. Now Murray with a big hole. He's got great speed to midfield. Sooners moving the first time they handle the ball.
Great job by Brandon Walker, the right guard. And I just talked about the ability of this offensive line. You talk about a hole. Brandon Walker, the right guard, just took the Texas Tech defensive lineman and just pushed him 5 yards to the outside, opening things up.
Sticking on the ground. Breaking off the first hit, but picking up only a couple of yards again is DeMarco Murray, the sophomore from Las Vegas.
Sam Bradford, he has the poise of a fifth-year senior, only a sophomore. Great anticipation, great confidence, and much like Graham Harrell, great understanding of his offense, and he makes quick decisions.
2nd and 8, an option look with Murray still handling for another first down, breaking daylight across the 25-yard line. Out of bounds around the 22-yard line, and it is the Sooner running game of Bob Stoops that has the Red Raiders in retreat. 25 yards.
A great block there by Grisham to seal the inside from Marlon Williams, and then when you're a safety against this offense, you've got to be able to make a tackle in the open field, and that time Charbonnet misses an open field tackle and allows Murray to get downfield.
The officials have a stoppage of play because someone on the gang across the way was shaken up on that play, so we have an official's timeout.
Mike Leach knows the importance of starting fast against Oklahoma. They have dominated opponents in the first quarter, outscoring them 201-27. With all this hype playing on the road, Tech needs to start fast.
They come back the other way with Chris Brown carrying the ball for the first time. He's the backup running back, and he too is a talent. He's out of Alexandria, Louisiana.
The last time we saw Oklahoma, they were in Dallas against the Texas Longhorns. They did not run the football very well that night.
Coming back again with Brown, and he's going to be thrown down by Darcel McBath, the free safety.
They didn't run the ball well against Texas, but in the last 4 games, they've gone back to that. They have really been able to establish the run game and have tremendous balance. You see 250 yards a game in their last 4 outings.
Heupel and Gundy flashing the signal out to Bradford. One is hot and one's down. Kevin Wilson calling the plays. Bradford is back, has all day. Throws in underneath to Grisham. Grisham battles to the 2-yard line. A 1st and goal on their opening drive after stopping the Tech attack.
Well, Brian Duncan is going to go and drop on Broyles. Once he drops back, it opens it up underneath, and a huge hole in the Texas Tech defense, and another great read there by Bradford.
Murray is back in as the I-back. Matt Clapp is the lead fullback. Murray dives in zone. The linesman's marking it. Very close, but the knee touching the ground, the official rules, and you'll see how close right there. Take a look at this.
Good push.
And
He's
good
down.
call.
Great call.
They could come right back with it. Using Matt Clapp, the junior.
Now, Texas Tech.
And the Red Raiders defense calls a timeout here as you take another look at this play, and you will see clearly that Murray's knee is down right there, and that is the spot, and that is an excellent call. Still, Oklahoma favored to put 6 on the board when you come back. Second and goal, and you talk about a team that has been high scoring in the opening quarter. Oklahoma with 201 points. That's more than about 18 teams overall, and Murray is stopped. Stood up beautifully that time. Terrific play by Victor Hunter.
Wow. A physical play. I was ready to, well, they're up 6-0, and Victor Hunter steps up, gets lower, and drills DeMarco Murray short of the goal line.
Third down and goal. The goal line defense of McNeil hurries into position. They're going to go wide with Murray for the first touchdown of the game. Step him outside to the right, and DeMarco Murray in with the evening's first touchdown. Jimmy Stevens to attempt the extra point. Redshirt freshman from Oklahoma City. So our first score of the evening. But the only thing I can guarantee is it won't be the last.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Nissan. When you need it most, Nissan delivers. And Samsung Mobile, proud sponsor of ESPN Rivalry Week.
We are back, and one thing to remember about Oklahoma kicking off, this has been one of the few weak spots with the Sooners this year. They have allowed 3 kickoffs to be returned for touchdowns, most notably that one by Shipley in the Texas-Oklahoma showdown in Dallas. So coverage, a point of emphasis for Stoops, and this will be Wall, the defensive back, from the 5-yard line for the Red Raiders. Much better coverage. Back to the score, Herbie.
Yeah, we're at the third down and goal. Oklahoma going behind the right side here. Trent Williams, the right tackle, and Eldridge, the tight end, opens it up very easily here for the tailback, DeMarco Murray. But look at the blocks on the right side, and look how physical this Oklahoma front line can be, putting on the touches of a 10-play drive and a lot of up-tempo, no huddle, which we've seen all year from Oklahoma.
After the play ended, personal foul. Oklahoma on the bench. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Stoops will be unhappy about this. Let's take a look and see if we can see it over there.
You got to control your emotions in a game like this. You got Wall just trying to get back.
Sooner pushed him.
Yep,
Not
a little bit of pushing.
It's just
I think
right in front of the officials.
Being on the field before the game, I think their concern is trying to take control of this
We're not
game.
going to indict the young man, but he should know better. How's that?
Yep.
Okay. 7-0 now. The Sooners with the lead, and Graham Harrell must get Michael Crabtree involved early. You know how it is. When a big-time receiver gets shut down for a long period of time, it begins to affect both sides mentally.
Got delay a game here, I believe, in Texas Tech. It's a little different on the road compared to being in Lubbock.
Prior to the snap, delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
They've been at home. Things have been a lot easier. The execution, the pressure, communication. Now they're on the road in a place they have struggled traditionally under Mike Leach.
There's Crabtree to the right, wearing number 5. Another flag. Prior to the snap.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, number 17. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Lewis.
Last thing that Mike Leach and his group can afford to do, especially early in this game, is dig themselves a huge hole. You talked about the numbers in the first quarter. Oklahoma is too good to get behind by a lot of points and then have to come back.
First and 20. Complete. There is Crabtree. His first catch of the night. Let's check in with our Lisa Salters. Lisa, first of all, congratulations on your alma mater, Penn State, going to the Rose Bowl.
That's right, Brent. Thank you. But I asked Oklahoma safety Nick Harris earlier in the week what they were going to do to try to slow down Graham Harrell. He said, I was just telling my guys it's not going to take a Superman effort, just guys playing hard for the entire game. I said, everyone has said that. Texas, Oklahoma State. He said, yeah, but we're Oklahoma's defense. We'll do whatever, even if we have to call his mom.
Okay.
Slips one through to Detron Lewis, the sophomore from College Station.
Brett, you always hear coaches talking about pocket awareness. Watch number 6 here. Feel his way around in the pocket and then find the window and deliver the football. Great job by Graham Harrell, feeling his way and finding his open receiver.
Baron Batch and Shannon Woods, both of the running backs. Batch is 25. Stephen Hamby's his son. This is Woods. He thought he saw something, but the Sooners jumped it, and Austin Box was in on that tackle. And right now, let's check in with Matt Weiner with our first update of the night. Matt.
Thanks, and hi, everyone. I'm here all throughout your game to let you know what's happening, beginning with this Taco Bell update. Utah is virtually guaranteed a spot in the BCS Bowl to win tonight over rival BYU, but this is Max Hall with the touchdown run there. The Cougars cut the Utes' lead to 3 in the Holy War.
And here it is 7-0 Oklahoma, and Harrell going long, sideline, and let's see if he incomplete. It is waved off. Coverage was Nick Harris, their big, strong safety, coming over on Swindell.
Right, I think he got his foot down. Watch the left foot come down. Swindell 11. He catches the football. Watch his left foot. It's down. They're definitely going to take another look at this. It's a matter of
maintains possession.
Exactly.
Now.
Did he juggle the ball at all? Definitely going to take a peek. The foot is down, and it's just going to come down to if there's an angle that shows. There's a great angle right there. I think looks like he has control of the football. Well, there at the end.
Line judge was running over to take a look at him when he was out of bounds, and there he is right there.
The ball came loose after his body landed out of bounds.
The field, the player had a foot down inbounds, but did not maintain control to clear to the ground.
So I think he had control, and then when he came down, Brett, his body hit the ground and the ball came out.
It squirted free pretty quickly as he came back down. You could see at that particular replay, it was squirting out of his grab. The line judge rushing right in it, had a good view, and that's what instant replay says.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Incomplete pass.
Has to maintain possession there.
3rd down and 10. The little guy, Eric Morris, has yet to catch his first pass. he works those underneath routes beautifully.
Last third down, they brought a lot of pressure, disguised it, and came late. Let's see what they do this time on 3rd and long.
Harris has crept up, number 5, and now he drops back, and they come from the other side with a blitz, trying to confuse him. Beal was there. Harrell gets it off complete, but well short. Detron Lewis, and that was Jeremy Beal, the sophomore. And as a rush defensive end, he has played very well the last couple of weeks.
Well, Brent, even though they didn't get a sack, the pressure coming late creates enough confusion. And watch Graham Harrell this time. Had some happy feet, throwing off his back foot. Not able to sit in there and be able to throw the football with any authority. They're creating hesitation and doubt right now, especially on 3rd down for Texas Tech.
Here's his second punt. Broyles is back deep again. A little dangerous there, and he's down around the 19-yard line. So we'll take a break. Oklahoma has already scored once. They lead by 7. You're watching Saturday Night Football on ABC.
Well, I took a lot of heat when I predicted that he was going to beat Texas. And he beat Texas. Can you see that? He really beat them. A lot of heat, though. It wasn't easy. I have a lot of friends in Texas. I have a lot of big fans from Texas. And, man, they gave it to me hard. Now I'm going to make another prediction. He's going to beat Oklahoma. And he's going to send me another ball just like this one because I like collecting them. But, Coach, you're going to be a wealthy man after this season. Everybody wants you.
Guess what, Donald? You've just ticked off a few folks in Oklahoma.
That's right.
So there is the coach, Mike Leach. Rumors swirling where he'll go. If nothing else, if he stays at Lubbock, he's going to get a lot more money. Here is Murray. He's off to a big-time start here tonight. He had 48 yards and a touchdown on the opening drive of this game. Reed making the stop, and he starts off the series again.
If you remember a couple weeks ago when Oklahoma State played Texas Tech, I talked about the depth of the safeties and how I was surprised how deep they were considering Oklahoma State wants to run the football. Same thing tonight.
Fast tempo offense. Slap it to the outside. Quentin Chaney. It's his first opportunity, but we have another penalty, and this has been a penalty march start.
Chop block. 7. Offense. Half the distance for the goal. Repeat, first down.
Stoops cannot be happy with the penalties. Likes the fact that he scored on the first series.
Yep.
Likes the way his defense has stopped Leach in 2 consecutive series, he and Harrell. I remember now, Stoops believes he knows this offense. We're talking about Texas Tech now, as well as Leach does. And as you look at the records through the years, you would tend to agree with Bob. Brent Venables now the defensive coordinator. And so far tonight, in 2 series, they've done a fine job against Graham Harrell. First and 25. They'll come in underneath and get a few back. That's Chaney. Quentin Chaney's a senior. He's from nearby Tulsa.
Chaney's done a nice job these last 4 games with the entry to Manuel Johnson, stepping up and being a great leader as a senior. 14 receptions in the last 4 games with Manny Johnson injured.
2nd and 16, and Bradford going to go deep on the far side. Incomplete. He overthrew Joaquin Iglesias. Coverage that time by Jamar Wall.
Jamar Wall left alone on the outside that time. Tough challenge to match up with Iglesias because of his speed, but Wall, the best corner that Texas Tech has, the experience that he has, that he brings to the table, allows him to be out there isolated one-on-one on an island. Big 3rd down here for Oklahoma.
See if Kevin Wilson settles for some underneath, or if they strike and try to pick it all up. 3rd and 16. He's got plenty of time. Diving for the ball was Johnson.
Well, this time Manny Johnson just falls down. I mean, he's got to match up. L.A. Reid, pretty good coverage there. The ball is thrown. Great anticipation, actually, by Sam Bradford. And if he stays on his feet, he's got a real shot of making that catch and being very close to the first down.
So that'll force a Mike Knoll punt for the first time. And now we will get the young man known as the Elf into the game for Texas Tech, number 12. He's waiting here at the 32. A fearless elf, I might add. Well, aerial coverage for tonight's game is courtesy of the Outback Steakhouse airship Bloomin' Onion 1. The Bloomin' Onion 1 airship, fan favorite every week on ABC, ESPN, college football broadcasts. This will be the third time that Texas Tech has handled the football, and they have not threatened the red zone yet.
They've not been able to establish any kind of running game at all. They're not going to live and die by running the football, but this is Mike Leach's best running team that he has had, and they haven't really even attempted yet to run the football against Oklahoma.
Has both of his running backs back. There's that shuffle pass to Woods. And Woods on first down, picks up about 8 yards. Basically, that's a running play. Defensive coaches certainly look at this as we take a look at what they have accomplished so far this season. They're pretty similar.
Most productive position on the offense, averaging 26 touches and 190 yards a game with 19 touchdowns. You put those two together, receiving and rushing, they put up a lot of yards.
Batch stays in. He'll get the first down. Beautiful run as he comes crashing across midfield to the 46-yard line, and over there is Austin Box.
We just talked about the running game. You mentioned the shovel pass kind of is a part of their running game, but this is also a big part, is getting number 25 into the open space and letting him accelerate. He's a physical back, much more so than Shannon Woods. That time he broke a tackle and picked up valuable yardage for the Red Raiders.
Time, but can't find an open receiver. Finally, far side and out of bounds. It was thrown for Edward Britton, the junior from El Paso.
Graham Harrell in this offense just has to settle down. The emotions of the game are kind of settling down. Now it's just about going out and executing. It's always tougher to do it on the road. The last few games at home, even though they were huge games against great opponents, they made it at times look effortless. It's very different on the road. They just have to calm down and believe in what their scheme is.
The flare to Batch. I believe he got another first down. No, might be spotted by that line judge. Just a touch short, right there at the mark.
You know, the underneath routes from Texas Tech are so important. Watch the linebackers from Oklahoma try to match up. They're just looking for those crossing routes, and it left Batch open to the outside. They're so concerned with the crossers in that middle part of the defense. You can see their heads on a swivel trying to match up. They left 25 all alone to the outside on the outlet.
Line judge on this side's been very, very busy. Bob's a good spot. Good job there, young man.
Good call.
Actually, bring the chains across.
Brent, you see some of the scores, some of the games today?
I did indeed. Watch the end of the shocker in South Bend.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Adrian Dantley's son threw the winning touchdown pass for Syracuse. I was so happy for Coach Robinson. I know he'll be moving on, but he'll get a job as an assistant in the NFL or with someone in the college game. He's a good man, good solid football man. Just didn't get things turned around quickly enough to satisfy everybody up in Syracuse. It's going to be tough up there, and we will see what the Orange. I was happy for Phil Fulmer too. He came over the way.
Yeah, great win for Greg Robinson. But on the other side, if Charlie Weiss,
I didn't want to go to the other side.
If he's felt that it's been a little hot in South Bend, they have USC next week, which is usually about a 40-point loss, so it's going to get real hot.
Yeah, you got that right on. Yes, sir. 7-0 Oklahoma leading here. They did get the first down. Throwing to Batch on the outside, and Very fine play by Dominique Franks. Now Franks is the corner on that side. He came. You have to be able to tackle in space when you play the Red Raiders, and Franks did exactly that. Watch this tackle.
Yeah, he's sitting in the corner. This is something Graham Harrell has to recognize. It's an easy play, but you're right. You do have to have that ability to take down the ball carrier. That's something that Oklahoma has put a lot of emphasis on this week, is tackling in space and yards after the catch. They have to eliminate him. Good job there by Dominique.
First sack. He threw it. There was a receiver. They're marking him down. That is the first sack of the night. Referee said he was under control that time, and he was in the arms of big Adrian Taylor, who is an unbelievable athlete.
Great athlete, 35-inch vertical, but let's face it, these routes are being covered by Oklahoma. That's a coverage sack that allowed Taylor enough time to get there. Oklahoma doing a good job of rerouting the Texas Tech wide receivers, making them work to get open, something we've not seen much of the last couple weeks. So he's sitting back there, Graham Harrell, holding the football, and Oklahoma's just too athletic up front.
A 12-yard loss on the first sack of the night. Taylor has about a 35-inch vertical leap. And talking to Brent Venables, the defensive coordinator, he said Taylor may be one of our best athletes on this team. He said, you can't believe the explosiveness. And there's another young man behind Coach Stoops, Brent Venables. He's up for a head coaching job. We expected a wide open, explosive, high-scoring game. And guess what? The defenses are the story here so far. 2 minutes left in the first quarter, and Texas Tech has not sniffed the end zone. That would be a first this year.
But Crabtree all the way at the bottom on a big third down here if he can try to make a huge play on 3rd and long.
Second sack. Consecutive sacks. Gerald McCoy was one of those hand fighting his way in, and this offensive line has a load of trouble against this Sooner front right now.
What a great twist, a big stunt here from Oklahoma. The speed and athletic ability of McCoy right in the middle, goes to the outside around Taylor. Then he gets a one-on-one matchup and just uses his speed and quickness to go right by Rylan Reed, the left tackle. Brent Venables mixing up this defense, doing a great job with their pressure. Even when they're only bringing 4, they're mixing up the looks.
LaCour fumbles a snap and does get it off. Had they had any kind of a block on, they would have eaten him up. And oh, are they lucky here that they didn't get a tip by Broyles and a turnover. Let's go to Matt Weiner in New York for an update, Matt.
All right, Brent, Penn State quarterback Darrell Clark picked a great time to have a career game, and he's our nominee for the AT&T ESPN All-America Player of the Week. 341 yards passing for Clark, who accounted for 5 total touchdowns. Fueled the Nittany Lions' trip to the Rose Bowl. Cast your vote, text the word vote to 51234 on your AT&T wireless telephone.
The offensive line must regroup for the Red Raiders as Chris Brown checks in as Bradford's running back here for the Sooners. Coming down toward the final minute of the opening quarter, and Brown will bring that clock down. So the highlight of the first quarter has certainly been the performance of the Sooner defense against that Texas Tech front. That has been your highlight. The other one is the fact that Oklahoma took the ball on its first series and drove right down the field with DeMarco Murray banging into the end zone. 2nd down and 5. Bradford has all day throwing to Grisham, who's wide open and in a foot race. Out of bounds at the 29-yard line. The Sooners threatening again.
When you run the football, you start to get safeties and linebackers sucked in, and that's what happened here. You see the confusion. Wide open on the backside. Duncan, the linebacker, trying to stay with Grisham. Not only is there a big advantage there with his size, but also the speed there. And a nice throw, nice accurate throw by Sam Bradford.
He's 4-6 for 73 yards right now. Coming back with Brown.
Great blocking again up front. I'm telling you, this Oklahoma offense, it starts up front with the big boys that are able to just push back the Texas Tech defensive line.
Oklahoma with 150 yards of offense in the first quarter. 7 points, and more importantly, they shut out Texas Tech and held them to 50 yards. And we'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. This ESPN telecast available in high definition on ABC HD. Kirk Herbstreit and Lisa Salters. I'm Brett Musburger from Norman, Oklahoma. The favored Sooners lead by 7. Chris Brown on the field as the running back. Sam Bradford. And let's see if the Texas Tech defense can hold up. And there was a penalty flag.
It's like big Duke Robinson trying to get a head start.
False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Phil Lodeholt, Duke Robinson, John Cooper, Brandon Walker, Trent Williams. And the coach is telling us that Trent Williams, number 71, is having the best year overall. They'll switch him to left tackle next year after Lodeholt graduates. Rush 4, not putting heat. Here's Gresham, another first down. Kirk, they've got to find a way to put some pressure on Bradford. He has all day in that backfield.
Well, in this case, he just gets back. The timing, look at the timing between, by the time Gresham turns around, the football is in there. The anticipation from Sam Bradford and the feel that he has right now for Jermaine Gresham is very obvious.
Brown, 11 yards before they're able to bring him down across the 5-yard line. 173 yards and counting for this Oklahoma offense.
Just mentioned Trent Williams. He does a good job of getting to the second level, which opened a huge seam on the backside and gave Brown plenty of room.
Brown cut off, slashes back, touchdown OU.
The problem that Texas Tech is facing right now is this balance. If they load up to stop the run, then Oklahoma will throw it. If they stay back to prevent the big pass play, then they're being run on. That's why it's so nice to see an offense that can both run and throw and make you pay for overcommitting to one spot that you're committed to be able to slow down. You slow down the run and they'll hurt you throwing it.
Jimmy Stevens adds the extra point, and Oklahoma takes a 2-touchdown lead on Texas Tech. Oklahoma leading by a couple of touchdowns, and it's been a long time since the Red Raiders didn't score in the first quarter of a football game. Cresswell kick it away again. Fielded on the 20-yard line. And a return out to the 37. Let's check in with Matt Weiner in New York.
Sports Center right now is powered by Vizio. Right now, the Utah Utes are about 9 minutes away from a spot in the BCS Bowl. Back-to-back touchdowns. The first 3 minutes of the fourth quarter had them up by 17 over rival BYU. Earlier today, Penn State played its way into the Rose Bowl for the first time in 14 seasons after dominating Michigan State. And afterward, Brett, Joe Pa confirmed he'll return for a 44th season as head coach.
My, oh my. Joe Pa headed in for hip surgery prior to the Rose Bowl. Wouldn't be surprised he'll lead him out. Big drive here for the Red Raiders. Down a couple of scores. They've been stifled. That screen game has gotten going. Now they're going to try it on first down, and they throw to daylight Morris. And right now the Red Raiders are completely out of sync. Let's go down below to Lisa.
Well, Brent, before the offense came back on the field, Mike Leach called all of his offensive players around him, and he said, look, guys, how many times do I have to tell you, this is just like you did all weekend practice. Do what you did on Wednesday. He said, right now, I'm watching the best offensive line in the country get pushed around. Play like you played on Wednesday. Guys?
Lisa Crabtree now is off to the right side of the formation. Harrell guns it, and Crabtree the target at midfield. So Crabtree, with his second reception of the game, gives them a 1st and 10, and maybe that will spark the offense.
What Oklahoma's doing a great job of is taking away the screens and the shovel passes and everything about 5 yards down the field and back into the Texas Tech part of the line of scrimmage. So they're going to have to start throwing those digs just like that behind the linebackers.
They've set the screen again with Batch. Met and blown up. This was the practice for the defense on Thursday that we watched. As soon as they throw to the outside, the linebackers and the safeties try to crash in as hard as they can. Well, Brent Venables wants it forced back into the middle. He doesn't want him to get the outside edge on the screen pass, and Box coming over again for him. That is Venables' plan here tonight. 2nd down and 11. Batch breaks the first tackle. Nice run. 1st and 10 for the Red Raiders. Kirk, that was a powerful run.
He's able to shake loose and get downfield. They brought a corner blitz. You'll see him off to the left here. Jackson comes. He takes a chance. If he makes the tackle, it's a great play. But once he's able to elude Jackson, there's nobody left to the outside. But you mentioned Brent Venables and what he's trying to do. The other thing is just the Oklahoma defensive coaches, led by Bob Stoops and Brent Venables. Another one on Oklahoma. But they know this offense as well as anybody. They can almost call the plays, and he told us they're simplifying things this week based on formations and alignments. And you could see early in this game, it's almost like Oklahoma knows what is coming before the play has a chance to develop.
Shannon Woods, the running back. Line holds and drops in underneath to his safety valve, and there's the elf. There's
yes.
Morris into the game, and it was Mike Leach who actually dubbed him the elf. He even has a young man who's been redshirted the elf in waiting, and he said that this elf's a little devious. One day he dressed up like an elf and came into a coach's meeting and jumped up on the table and started stomping around in those long-toed shoes. Now, can you just see Eric Morris up on a table breaking up a coach's meeting? 2nd down and 3. Batted away. That's the Crabtree play that you all remember so well from the Texas game, and Frank said, not on my watch, not this time.
And they're jumping the routes. He actually is going to make a cut to the outside. Watch how quick Franks jumps this route. And when you start to see that as a play caller and as a quarterback, you've got to come up with some double moves. You cannot just continue to allow this Oklahoma defense to be in your hip pocket on almost every single route that you're running. Also, notice how long everything's taking to develop because Graham Harrell has to find his 3rd and 4th receiver.
They show blitz. Harrell deflected. The 2nd time on a blitz that they have been able to deflect a Graham Harrell pass. And young Box is growing up here as their middle linebacker.
This is a huge series for Texas Tech. That was 3rd down. And Oklahoma's been bringing a lot of pressure. You mentioned the way Box came up the middle, but I think Texas Tech has no other choice. And Mike Leach, known to be a risk taker, he's going to go for it here on 4th down.
Harrell needs 3 yards for the 1st. Steps away. Incomplete. The Oklahoma defense is the story. That's your headline here tonight. So far, it has been Boomer Sooner, throwing to nothing but air.
Saturday Night Football on ABC. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. Aflac, ask about it at work. And Chevy, an American revolution.
During his 10-year career, Bob Stoops has lost only 2 games here in Norman. One at the hands of Oklahoma State, and 23 games ago, TCU. Here is Murray slashing his way to the 30, 40, and Murray having a huge night for the offense. That's 23 more yards for Murray as he approaches 100 in the first half.
It starts with, again, the running game. Great blocks downfield by Iglesias and Manny Johnson. But DeMarco Murray looks like DeMarco Murray before the injury that he sustained last year to Texas Tech. He has much more confidence in that knee.
Bunch on the left. Bradford hasn't touched the ground yet. And here's Murray off the pass. 40, 35. And Murray to the 30-yard line for another 1st and 10 before L.A. Reid can bring him down, but it is a 31-yard gain for the Sooners.
But the accuracy of Sam Bradford. Watch the feet. Gets himself in position, comes over. Great throw in front of Murray. And with DeMarco Murray in the open field, you talk about the importance of making a tackle. Again, this guy looks as good as he has looked all year the last couple of weeks, and he's picking up again tonight.
Crowd on fire and Leach on edge. Time for tonight's Aflac trivia question. Herbie, you're ineligible. Okay. Mike Leach was Oklahoma's offensive coordinator in 1999. Who was his starting quarterback? That's pretty easy if you're an Oklahoma fan. There he is.
Wow, look at him.
Wearing the Sooner shirt at a meeting there with his quarterbacks.
Spurrier Jr. there.
Tech having used its final timeout of the half, and we still have 11 minutes. And here's Brown. McNeil, the defensive coordinator, got all over his defense during that timeout, looking for a spark. And there's Ruffin on that far side. Everybody do their job. That was the chant. And Wall, the corner, comes up to help Colby Whitlock, and there's Ruffin on that far side.
We were kind of talking at the break there. What can they do to turn this game around? And, you know, the last 2 games that we called of Texas Tech against Texas and Oklahoma State, their defensive line and linebackers just outfought Texas and Oklahoma State. Shoes on the other foot tonight.
Brown spinning. And another first down. So it is so one-sided right now as far as yardage is concerned. 235 yards for the Sooners, Herbert.
They're just getting such a great push right now. And as I said, Texas Tech, it's about wanting it more and trying to just be able to play as a group. Right now, they look like they're rattled as a team.
Play action going in zone. Touchdown, Oklahoma. Jermaine Gresham. That was a beautiful play action. Freezing the backers just enough. Gresham releases into the end zone. And Oklahoma is up by 3 touchdowns.
What you gotta love about Oklahoma is sensing that Texas Tech is on the ropes, and they just keep attacking and keep bearing this Texas Tech team and the will of the Texas Tech team.
Stevens tacks on another extra point. Folks, that is 4 Oklahoma possessions and 3 touchdowns. Put on a show in Norman, aren't they? .6'6" junior from Ardmore, Oklahoma, Jermaine Gresham, and he has been a nightmare matchup for defensive coordinators throughout the Big 12 and in their non-conference games. Oklahoma had a good non-conference schedule. Cincinnati and TCU. That'll be part of their argument in the BCS computers if they have to decide this tiebreaker in the Big 12 South. This is fielded on the run on the 20-yard line by Wall. Wall runs up and out of bounds. A fine return.
Well, there's no question the running game helps set this up. The fullback here, Clapp, will go right down the middle. You'll see Grisham right here. Now, it's a simple read for Bradford, but watch Hines, the safety, kind of in the slot, just get lost. And I don't know if he was caught up in thinking DeMarco Murray might have the football, but because he kind of sat there in no man's land, there's nobody there to take away Grisham. Easy read and an easy throw for Sam Bradford.
With that fine return to the 49-yard line, Graham Harrell will see if he can get things going. He moves Michael Crabtree into the backfield alongside of him. And they run back out of that formation. So the first 4 drives of the night here, and you can see that Texas Tech held to 13, 15, 12, and 47 yards. Brent Venables is having a sensational night. If Clemson is interested, as we have heard, and there was an interview, they are very impressed with what he's doing against Mike Leach's offense here tonight. It is 2nd down and 5. There is Batch, and he is blown up. Travis Lewis, outstanding. Redshirt freshman from San Antonio, Texas.
Linebackers have great speed, and right now this Oklahoma defense is just pinning its ears back, playing with so much confidence. Graham Harrell came into this game as a Heisman frontrunner, and right now he needs to settle his team down and make some great throws.
Short. Wanted Crabtree. Let's see if he goes, Mike, on 4th down here. The ball is across midfield. They're down by 3 touchdowns. Harrell stays out on the field. Graham Harrell stays, and Leach is going to roll the dice, folks.
Big roll the dice.
He doesn't want to give Bradford and the Sooners the ball right here with 9.5 minutes to go in the first half. You hate to say it's a must conversion, but the way things are going, this is as must as it gets. Backpedaling. Incomplete. Broken up by Brian Jackson, and it is Sooner football.
Well, when you have a quarterback who is rattled, he misses throws that he would typically make. Watch here from the left to the right. Well, you're not going to be able to see him, but the elf, Eric Morris, breaks free right behind the linebackers. He's wide open, and this is even before Graham Harrell decided he needed to move and get away from the pressure. But when you're rattled, when you're feeling the pressure, sometimes you make decisions you would not usually make.
The one thing I noticed at the end of that, did that appear to you fans at home when you saw that replay? Should Crabtree have caught this ball? This football team, I've not seen them perform like this. I want you to watch the end of this play now.
Good shot there. Pretty good play there by Jackson.
Jackson may have got a hand in there and did a hell of a job over there on that far sideline here.
Eric Morris breaking free. There's Gerald McCoy kind of showing the crowd he's not done tonight. But Eric Morris, this is the guy that I was looking at. And Graham Harrell, before he feels pressure, he's got him right in the middle where they've had so much success in recent weeks. And he's sensing and feeling that pressure right now, that he's starting to get out of there even before the pressure gets there.
Harrell talking to his offensive teammates. Anything to rally the troops. But the way things are going, they're going to be down 4 touchdowns. That was Moses Madu, his first carry of the night. He's the 3rd running back used by Kevin Wilson, the offensive coordinator, who works with Jay Norvell, and of course head coach Bob Stoops. Kevin Wilson's name is going to come up down here in the South also, especially if anything happens over at TCU and Coach Patterson goes up to Kansas State. But Kevin Wilson doing a superb job of calling plays here tonight. I cannot believe Bradford finally couldn't find an open man. Sprints out of trouble. What a night Bradford is having. 1st and 10. Wall finally bringing him down.
Good coverage here by Texas Tech, and Sam Bradford not showing his athletic ability very often. Doesn't usually have to maneuver, but that time steps up into the pocket and finds a nice crease in the defense and picks up that 1st down.
Movement. So we'll get the refs' mic straightened out probably at halftime. That's load Holt, and he is a load, folks. That left tackle for the Sooners. He goes 6'8", 337 out of Fountain, Colorado. That's the system that you see looking over the sideline that Kevin worked so hard on with Northwestern. He was the offensive coach up there. Again, Bradford.
He is an athlete. Played basketball in high school. Great golfer. He just has not had to show this very often because the offense executes almost always in sync. And this last 2 plays, though, nice job of recognizing it and instead of a bad play, trying to make something good happen.
300 yards of offense for the Sooners. Play fake. It's like practice. Juggled. Incomplete. It was Gresham again.
This is the one knock on Gresham, is that as big as he is and as athletic as he is, he looks like eventually a 1st-round pick in the NFL as a big tight end. Look at the mismatch with his size, but there is a knock on his hands, and that is a touchdown if he's able to catch that pass and get into the end zone.
Needs 7 on this 3rd down. Picks it up easy. Touchdown. Joaquin Iglesias. That was like backyard keep away. 28 yards and another Sooner score. Remember the 4th down gamble near midfield. When you give a red-hot offense the ball with that kind of field position, that's a big-time gamble that Coach Leach took. When you go on 4th down, he knows it better than anybody. You got to make it in that situation, and they didn't.
Man coverage underneath by Texas Tech, and you'll see Murray come to the outside. When he does that, you got a linebacker that clears out. When the linebacker clears out, look how open that is, and the move in the open field by Iglesias. One of the most prolific receivers in the history of Oklahoma football. Big, strong, but also very quick and able to get into the end zone.
Charbonnet goes down on the play, and he's walking off on his own power. He was shaken up, and there is Iglesias. So with Manuel Johnson having suffered that nasty-looking elbow injury against Kansas, he has not returned to form, but that doesn't matter with the Sooners. They still have Iglesias. Chaney has stepped up, and of course Gresham is a big-time wide receiver. And the Sooners are out by 4 touchdowns. They have gone 76 yards, 84 yards, and 55 yards, all in less than 2 minutes. We are back, and the Sooner schooner starting to pull away on this road trip for the Red Raiders. It is 28-0, Herbie, with 7:45 to go in the 2nd quarter. We have not seen Texas Tech play this poorly, but we've got to give an awful lot of credit to this Oklahoma defense.
Yeah, I'm watching, thinking, you know, Oklahoma's had 2 weeks to get ready for Texas Tech and vice versa. But the Oklahoma defense, it's almost like you see the wristbands with play charts. Sure. It's like Oklahoma went into the locker room to Texas Tech and said, can we get some of the play charts so we know every single play that you're going to run? Give them all the credit in the world because they have Graham Harrell and Texas Tech offensively rattled. And on defense, they have no chance right now to stop this balance and this physical attack from the Sooners.
They'd love to get one on the board before the intermission. Anything to build on. Moreland kicking it off. Keeping it on the ground. And the Red Raiders with a loose football. Did the Sooners get at it? This could be a backbreaker here in the first half. Expect the unexpected with Stoops. But the Red Raiders hang on.
This looks like a kick that was just intended to be a squib kick that ends up hitting the linebacker, Bird, who's in there. It's a loose ball. Texas Tech very fortunate to get that ball back.
Victor Hunter jumping into the middle of that pile to save the day. Football just sitting there, and now we will see what Harrell and this offense under pressure can do. Woods is pulled down. Jackson made that splendid play.